Alright, so we're now going to do the demo. I'm Wyatt Miller, and I'll be walking you through this demo. First off, I threw my repositories that I've labeled as our Docker demos up on GitHub. Let's go to GitHub right now. So you're at the GitHub homepage. You can just search for Docker demo PHP. Or you can go to this URL right here. Here, I have my Docker demo for PHP. You can go ahead and click this green button and click download zip, or you can just go ahead, go to the terminal, type in git clone and git clone it. I recommend doing the latter. You can go ahead and press enter and clone this, but I have already done this, so let's go ahead and get straight into the Docker file. Here I'm going to open up my lovely text editor, VS Code. So here is, right over here, is my lovely data structure. There isn't one. So I've got a PHP file, a JavaScript file, Markdown file, and a Sass file. We're going to be focusing on this Docker file here for today. So in this Docker file, you're going to learn a new language. I necessarily wouldn't call it a programming language or a scripting language, but it's a language nonetheless, because it has unique syntax. So I'm going to go through this really briefly. The from keyword is a command that retrieves an image from a centralized repository. This centralized repository is called Docker Hub. You can go to hub.docker.com to search throughout the various images that are on Docker Hub. Here, I pull down the PHP image, and then this is a tag built on this PHP image. I'm writing PHP 7.0 in Apache. I won't get into tags much here, but it's important when it comes to building your Docker file. This copy command copies the directory to a directory inside the Docker image, this PHP image right here. In this case, it's going the Docker build command is going to copy this directory right here to this /var/www/html, which is the default web hosting directory for Linux. This image right here is a Debian image. So here I'm just installing I'm just updating the Debian central repository, and then I updated. Then I'm installing this Ruby and Ruby Dev, and then installing Sass using Gem. Gem is Ruby's package manager, and Ruby is the implementation for Sass. Sure, I could have used a more modern implementation of Sass like Dart Sass, but I decided to use Ruby instead. Then I go ahead and run change directory into var www.html and compile the Sass to CSS using the Sass command. If you would like to learn more about these Linux commands, I recommend you take CIT280. It's a great class. This expose command exposes the port 80 on the Docker image. Since we are ready to build our Docker image, I'm going to press Control, then the tilde key. It has now pulled up a friendly terminal built right into VS Code. What I'm going to do now is run docker build. So docker build -t demo 01 and then a period. So the docker build is a command that builds your Docker image with the Docker file. This -t flag is to tag this image as demo 01. To tag any image with a different name, you may replace demo 01 with anything you'd like. This period after the demo 01 is the location of the Docker file. Since we have a flat file structure within our demo, I'll just put a period right here. If it was in a like the top directory, then you would obviously back out of there with a double period slash and how many levels you would go up, but relative paths. I'm sure you learned this in CIT180 or CIT190. Anyways, out of the scope of this demo, I'm going to go ahead and run this Docker build. So the PHP image has already been pulled, so it ran fairly quickly. It copied the files, it ran these two commands, and exposes port 80. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to run docker run demo 01. Docker run is to run your Docker image in a Docker container. The demo 01 is running. Demo 01 is the image you want to run. So I'm going to go ahead and press enter. Now you can go ahead and run this image within a web browser. All you gotta do in the URL bar is type in localhost, but you're unable to connect. Why is this? So you've already exposed the port in your Docker file, but you also have to expose the port or publish the port in your Docker run command. But you're probably saying, Wyatt, why do I have to expose the port in the Docker run command if I've already done it in the Docker file? Well, there are things called source ports and destination ports. CIT280 goes into those things in more detail. Another class I highly recommend. So I'm going to press Control-C to cancel or get out of that. Get out of that run command. It holds my terminal as hostage. So what I'm going to do next is go back. To publish a port, all you have to do is put -p after the Docker run command. And then put any port you'd like. In this case, you'd do port 80, but you can do any port you like, as I said. I'm going to go ahead and press enter. Go ahead and reload this page. And now I am viewing this web page from a Docker container. Congratulations, you have just run and built your first Docker container. Now, we're going to build and run another Docker container. But first, you want to cancel out of this. Close out of this. Go back to GitHub. Search for Docker Demo Python. This is another repository hosted by me that shows Python being run in a Docker container. Let's go ahead and check that out. Again, the same applies here. You may click this green button and click download zip, or you can git clone this URL right here with the git clone command. Git clone URL. I have downloaded this as well, so let's go ahead and dive into the code. Here is my flat file structure again. Very enthralling. This is here's a bulk of my app right here, and the bulk of this, another bulk of the app right here. What this does is kind of like a fictional hospital app. What it does, it grabs your name, your age, and your weight and height, and saves it to a JSON file, and then it spits the output at you. Output being name, age, height, and weight. So you may toy around in here if you'd like. I'm not going to get into Python today, but I am going to get into this Docker file. So again, we pull this image from Docker Hub. I'm running this Python image with the tag Alpine36. This is running Alpine Linux Python version 3.6. Here, I set the environment work to user bin app. You can think of environment, or env, as setting a variable of sorts. So, I'll show you how I set that variable in this workdir command. This workdir command sets the working directory for all commands that come after it, as this copy command here shows. I'll get into this copy command in a bit. So this workdir command sets this work variable to user bin app. So it's basically the same thing as workdir user bin app. Hopefully that makes sense. This copy command is a little different. Don't see a path after this. This first period makes sense, but this second period doesn't really make any sense. Unless you get the hang of this env command. So it's going to copy these files to user bin app. This last command right here is just us executing Python 3. And this period right here tells Python 3 to execute this main.py. Main.py goes ahead and runs all of the things that needs to run, and then you're golden. Alright, let's build this Docker image. Control tilde. Got this lovely terminal. Docker. If my hands could type. Again. we build this Docker command with the tag demo02. I've already pulled this Python app. Well, not app, I'm sorry. Python image from Docker Hub, so we don't need to download it. So it goes through the steps really quickly. Pulls the Python image, it sets the work variable, it sets the working directory, it copies those files, and it's going to run this Python 3 command. So let's go ahead and run this Docker image. Oh shoot, didn't do anything. What the heck's going on? Well, lucky enough, there's this string of text at the bottom here, right above my prompt. Run this Docker image with IT. What? Okay. So why don't we do that? Hey, that's pretty cool. Let's enter things. The flags -it lets you run this Docker image in an interactive mode, and T in the Docker run command lets you allocate a sudo tty. Again, TTYs are discussed in CIT256. Again, highly recommend the class. So I'm going to go ahead and enter my name, my age, my height in inches. I'm about 6 feet tall, so 72 inches. My weight, I'm a pretty thin guy, so 130. It's processing the information. What it does when you process the information, it spits it out into a JSON file, and then it spits what you entered. So this person is Wyatt. This person is 20 years of age. Wyatt stands 72 inches tall, and I weigh 130 pounds. Cool, right? So let's see if we can see that. See that JSON file. All right. Now, time for the assessment.